Good evening, Adityan.
Good evening, sir. Sir, I'm streaming this.
Good evening, Adityan, and thanks very much for joining with us
Thanks for the
and for your kind consent on taking the webinar, because as an ex-student, you can have better idea about how to prepare and how to do it, because you have proved it by yourself. I believe still it is work from home.
Yes, sir. From last 11 months, I'm doing work from home.
Okay,
I think it's permanent almost.
okay, sir. Is it live streamed also?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is already going live in YouTube.
In YouTube.
Yes, sir.
Live streamed in YouTube.
Yes, sir. Yes, I will.
Okay.
Later, I will download and send you the recording that we can upload back again in Triple Time channel.
Oh. Okay.
Or now it's going live in YouTube. My personal YouTube account it connected, so. How are you, sir? By the way?
Fine. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good, sir. Long time after, I almost met you around December. Came for
Actually,
convocation.
you came there for the convocation.
Yeah, actually, there was a plan this month, but I couldn't.
And thanks very much for joining with us and your kind consent on taking the webinar. And as a student with some 15 of us, I believe you got 15 of us altogether. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, as a student with 15 of us, you are the right person to give tips on how to prepare for placements. And warm welcome and my sincere thanks. Then you can start with your 7 webinar sessions as they are your junior students, because definitely it can be an interactive informal session so that students may grasp more things. Again, thanks very much, Aditya Vardhan.
Welcome, sir.
Good evening and welcome to our guest speaker, faculty coordinators, student coordinators, and webinar audience. In today's competitive job market, it is imperative to equip yourself with necessary skills and knowledge to stand out from the crowd. In this webinar, our speaker will talk about the placement preparation required for the students currently pursuing undergraduate studies at college and guide students on the placement queries, resume, and profile building and tips to grab opportunities at the best possible way they can. Throughout this interactive session, we will be covering a wide range of topics, including resume building, interview techniques, effective communication, personal branding, and much more. I feel delighted to welcome one of our proud alumni of 2018 batch, topper of the batch, former placement coordinator, as our guest speaker for today, Mr. AVS Aditya. Since the first year he attended the college, Mr. Aditya Vardhan has worked as placement coordinator and continuously pushed out to enhance our college placements. Mr. AVS Aditya Vardhan worked with 10 plus companies as an intern and grabbed 5 plus PPO opportunities before completing his undergraduate at Triple IT Hotel. Mr. Aditya Vardhan is currently working as a full stack software engineer at Shipsy. On behalf of this entire organizing team, I would like to express our gratitude for your presence. Once again, welcome to the webinar on placement preparation. Let's embark on this exciting and rewarding journey together. Thank you for this webinar.
Yeah, thank you. Keaton. I hope I am audible, right? Uh, can you guys
Yeah,
hear me?
now we can hear you.
So, like before I formally start today's session, one thing I can say. So when I was in Triple IT Kottayam from 2018 to 20, the 4 years at which I completed my undergraduation out there. So one thing I see is that Triple IT Kottayam is growing along with how industry is growing forward. Okay. So when we talk about our growth in terms of number of students, or in terms of the available facilities, or in terms of the resources, what we are providing, I mean, what Triple IT Kottayam actually provides to students is keep on getting improved. Okay. So ultimately, even placement cell. So I worked with placement cell for last 3 years. So when I was in second year, at that time, Matthews are also joined. We both together, I can say, we both together form the placement cell, the building blocks of the placement cell, and right now uh, we are having a set of 12 plus coordinators just for a single batch. So rather earlier when we approached for placement coordinators, only hardly 2 or 3 used to come, and from that situation and to this level, so we also grow the placement in terms of the number of jobs or the number of job opportunities through an campus, and students getting applying for the same, getting selected and joining in their dream companies, I can say, to some is something that completely depends on the student and the student mindset. Uh, if we talk about the student mindset, one thing I can prescribedly say, so everyone have their own assets, everyone have their own desire to get a good package, to get a good job, need to be well settled before I reach 25. I have to buy car, house. Everyone, like every middle class guy, basically, or middle class girl, have all these ambitions. Okay? So to reach that, you need to definitely do some hard work. So ultimately, every company pays for you just because you are providing a good solution. Like you are trying to solve their customer problems, or you can say you are trying to solve your own customer problems who are all acquiring. I mean, who are all present in your company, and with that. You also try to learn how I can excel further and how I can get a good position in the coming days. So to all do this, okay. So for you to get going on and moving into an industry from a educational institute, this industry institute bridge, whatever we say, this will be covered by the placements. Okay, so we are here basically to support each and every student during their placement activity, try to identify where he is lacking out, either it could be directly or indirectly, and then trying talk to him, counsel him in the possible ways whatever we can do. Talking about my batch placements, when I joined in Triple IT Kottayam in year 2022. 2021-2022 was the year I got graduated, and that year I was the placement cell coordinator. So at that time, we collectively brought 100 plus companies, and out of which I remember the number of students got have at least one offer in their hand is approximately 73. So out of the 10 students, there are having different ambitions like pursuing to further studies or having some more I mean planning to do some other skill like so we don't have a good clarity on them. But talking about these 73 people who have who have attended the placement thing through on campus. So one thing they told is whenever we saw on campus opportunities versus off campus opportunities. So whenever you are trying to get through on campus placement, it is kind of easy compared to off campus. Why I'm saying this is because in on campus you will be attending that placement. I mean, you will be attending the company test or interview with a limited set of students, or within our campus, or it may be collaborative with two or three other campuses, but the strength will be very limited. And when we talk about going to an off-campus mode, the competition will be very high. So in that time, we need to be more strong with the resources whatever we have. So when we talk about this resource thing, so what do I exactly say about the resource? So you need to be technically strong first of all. So all the 4 years whatever you have studied, you should be aware of few practical things that what actually industry is all trying to want you. And you also need to attend the interview with, I mean, you also need to be very confident that okay, I am going to crack this interview right from the beginning, even though you might get many hurdles. The interviewer may ask you very tough questions, but you should be prepared for every worst case. Then only it will be possible for you to at least get that reach that mile in any case, in on campus and off campus. So let me just formally start this whole webinar with a whole boring presentations. But I guess this should not be a boring one for you this time. And just give me a moment. I'll be sharing my screen. Maybe to share my screen, I might want to quit and reopen this Zoom. Okay, Darcy, I hope you are host, right? Here.
Yeah, I'm a co-host here.
So you have the co-host access, right? So I will drop and I will rejoin. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so I hope I'm audible, right? To everyone.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so before I start presenting my screen, so I want to hear from everyone here. So, what are your expectations on this webinar? So, what are you expecting from today? Like, what should I cover? So that in that case, I will cover what I mean. I could able to reach what you are expecting from me. Uh, Otherwise, I will cover in very generic way. So it will be representing all the things. So. Any few people, like if you have things, if you have any doubts, or if I want to stress some topic, or any general doubt, so I'm ready to take up, like, what are your expectations, let me be clear about from this session. Fine. Or that I will cover anyway. Uh, yes, to some extent. uh, yes. So yeah. So the main aim also for me to take this session in Friday, especially May, is one of the peak season for our company. So I just adjusted that half an hour just because the attendees who are attending today will have ample amount of time to 2 months basically what we say, to prepare well, so they can take some of my inputs if they like, and try to build a good career out of it. So my aim after the towards the end is that I could able to at least indulge some required things, like what from an industry perspective, what a company says, and if I can make you align in that way, and you could able to crack a good offer, that is very a good thing to placement cell, not just placement cell, to for your career first. Remove placement cell from here, but for your career it is for a very good thing to you to achieve. So I got few questions personal as well as in public. So everyone has ample doubts on these things, where you want to know about internships, where you want to know about BSc. Is it enough to crack placement, or do I need to learn anything more? So if I want anything more, learn more about things, so what should I concentrate on? How to build a good portfolio? So such questions I have received today. So let me just start sharing my screen. I hope you can see my screen now. Let me just take you through the presentation. So I hope you can see my screen, right? Uh, Hello, hello. That's it. Anyone can respond. You can see my screen, right?
Yeah, yeah, we can say it.
So let's start today. So basically, one thing every company says, okay, either for taking an intern or taking uh, uh, a junior software engineer in vague terms, is they just say we are hiring. So it all starts from this simple message. So we are hiring. So we want new workforce. So now it's time for us to have new folks enter into our company and try building new things for our clients or customers. It could be both product based and service based, obviously. So in so the base so the basic thing here with this product based companies is that these people have a single product, okay, and they will try to sell the same product to they will try to sell that product to multiple clients, and these clients will utilize the product and get some benefit out of it. So here product will be fixed, okay? But when it comes to service based companies, they will build multiple products, okay? They might have multiple clients, and after building these projects, some may go into regular maintenance and monitoring. So when something comes out to fix it, then you will be active. Otherwise you will just support them in one way. So we will talk about the differences, what are all say what are all big advantages you gain when you work in a product based company and move to a service based company, or when you move out from service based to product based, what are all advantages you can gain here. We will discuss that separately after some time, but for now let's proceed further. So for everyone, so we want to talk today on in we want to talk about these seven things. Sorry, my bad. I wrote six. But we want to talk about seven things today in this session. Where first thing I want to majorly indulge some idea about what a company expects when we are saying we are going to hire someone. Okay, and then what are all skills? So we talk about skills that each candidate should have depending on the role, which can be a tech role or a non-technical role. Tech role means basically coding is involved where you want to develop something. Whereas in non-technical, of course, you develop, but you don't write the code. Okay, and then here comes the major part where you want to showcase your talent to a company. That could be with respect to your projects or internships or your research work, whatever you indulge in the 4 years of your undergraduate program. And preparation strategies, what you want to do before you say apply for a job, and what do you want to do after you got applied, and what you want to do when you were when you received a when you received an interview call. And then we will talk about some myths and facts. So this is very interesting topic where every junior student here, like every student who are currently in their first year or second year of their undergraduate might have these queries, just because these LinkedIn influences might have said something, and that was a stigma. Okay, so let's break that stigma after this session. And a few resources that I thought could be useful for you, that could become a good helping aid for you when you prepare for your placements, or when you prepare to do internships. Okay. Okay, let's proceed. So let's talk about the company expectations from a candidate. So you are a interviewee whom I am going to interview, or you are say you are a candidate who I'm going to recruit. So the first thing from a company perspective, what I look for, or what any company look for, is you should be skilled. So skilled in sense, you should be aware of few frameworks or libraries or technologies, whatever my company is currently running up. So you could take the role and you could build them, or you could take them next level, is what I expect. And the second thing, you should be knowledgeable about my product. This happens very rarely, but you should be knowledgeable at least about my company. So what do I do, or what does my product try to achieve? So some companies expect from candidates and some might not expect from candidate, but this is a generic requirement for every company that expects from a candidate, that you should be skilled and knowledgeable. You should be knowledgeable in your domain, that is already covered in the skilled part, but you should be knowledgeable about a few things on my company. And the third thing, what we expect is ability to communicate. So tomorrow you will be suddenly joined into one client call where you try to explain, where you want to pitch a new feature and you want to talk about how this works. So you should be able to communicate and let your client understand that fine, okay, you just taught me about this feature. Now I have few questions. Let's sit and discuss. So we could build a solution for you. So this is how the current software industry works. So you got a problem and you want to fix it. So how do you fix it? So you just communicate it to me very well. Okay, and let's not talk about the solution right now. Let's just talk about how you are going to implement. Okay, and then let's think how to implement, what to implement, and all. But we need to thought. You can take the same thing as an architecture. So let's sit down and draw some good architecture out of it, and let's decide what to do next, or if it is a feasible idea or non-feasible idea, we will decide and we will go further. The fourth thing the company expects is that candidate should be self-driven. So self-driven in sense, no one should come to your desk and try to train you. Instead, you can start looking at the code base, especially for tech guys and for non-tech roles who are trying to aspire. So you start to understand what's happening here. and try to take them, move and try to move the wheel. Okay, so basically in every industry, okay, there will be few engineers joining and there will be few engineers exiting, but the whole wheel of implementing the solutions for the customers or for the clients will never stop. This wheel will go round and round and round. So ultimately, when candidates come, so new candidates will learn and rotate the wheel, and whereas the old candidates will hand over this whatever they had done to these new candidates. So this process will continue in any company, irrespective of what they are working on, which aspect they are working. And then this 0 to 1 and 1 to 1.1 is something that every company, especially every product based company, looks for. So at day one, okay, in any company, even though you are experienced, you have some 15-20 years of experience, so every day is your day one. Okay, this is actually true to a larger extent, because every day as a software engineer, we tackle a lot of typical challenges from the customer. Maybe some people might report a few things that are aligned, that are actually slightly differently aligned than what we are expectations, so set at the client level. And sometimes they bring us with a new product requirement, like say for example, I just talk about Zomato. So in Swiggy, Zomato and Swiggy, okay, both. So in Swiggy, there are riders who take these orders from restaurant and give them delivered at a location. Okay. So in Swiggy, one of the features I used to see is that a rider can pick more than one order, a maximum two orders from a restaurant, and he can deliver it to different houses. Okay, so it can tell you in the app that I am currently delivering at this house, and I will be receiving you my ETA, estimated time of arrival, will be some half an hour or 45 minutes, like that. So this Zomato doesn't have this feature. So clients of Zomato will come to Zomato product manager and ask, why don't Zomato provide this feature to us? Because your competitor Swiggy itself is right now providing. So as a newbie, okay, so even though you have a lot of experience in different domains or in the same domain, so every day here in a new company will be a day one. Okay, every day will be a day one. Even so now what we expect is, so you start here at a zero position. Okay, so the time taken to reach you at a good position, like this 0 and 1 are just like your booleans, so true and false and true, or no, yes and no. So you don't know anything, okay, is what we say it as 0. And when we talk about 1, you know, okay, that's it. But it doesn't say you know everything or you know something, but you know something. We can simply say you know something. And then client or the company expects, how can you take your knowledge from 1 to 1.01, which means how can you expand your horizon from here to an out of box thinking, which your client, or how can you well anticipate few challenges beforehand, so that we don't get someone to say to us, you start developing for this, or you learn from your competitors and then do. So we don't expect few things from our clients especially. So that is what every company expects from a candidate. So he starts from 0, he moves to 1. And how long it will take to move it to 1.01? 1.01 is just an improvement to 1, but it makes a lot of difference when you just multiply, when you just multiply with that what's it when we just multiply your efforts with what the quality of work you do. And then the sixth point every company expect is, what about the collaboration? So I joined in company ABC, and if I can't able to work well with all the peers that are already there in my department, so it will definitely it will definitely bring a negative impact at a higher management level, that there are some discrepancies happening in this particular department, so we need to restructure it somehow. So every time when they hire a new candidate, okay, they try to hire someone whose mindset is similar to the people who are working who are working in that particular domain or in that particular department. So they want, the first thing is you to collaborate, so not to step on into arguments and directly decide. Instead, think and act is what they expect. And then talking about this think and act, this will come under decision making. So how well you can take some good decisions that will last for longer times in the organization, is what every is what every company tries, or tries from any level of candidate. Take from junior software engineer to lead architect, So everyone tries to take some decisions at their position, and these decisions should actually matter to the whole organization, not just you or your department, but this should bring a quality change in the whole perspective. And then the negotiation. So negotiation comes depends on your role. So how well you can negotiate with your clients, especially to non-technical role, how well you can make a deal with your client, being taking the product and just have a strict hard rules that we don't make any more enhancement, but you could able to negotiate with them by showing few positive highlights that my product can do this but some others may not do. So how well you can have such a good negotiation in any role, or even if you talk about in technical way. So I wrote 10 lines of code, and this code will be perfect for the current situation whatever just described for us to do. And the solution you are saying may have these disadvantages. So that negotiation is very important. So you should not stick to someone's ideology, but instead you should have your own, and you could able to make that ideology matches with the other person. So these are all 8 factors. Okay, so any job description you take, I will bet these are 8 factors will be covered in their job description in either directly or indirectly. So the first skill, it will be shown what are all skills you want to know and knowledgeable. So this is already covered majorly in the skill. And ability to communicate. So majorly whenever you are applying for job, so everybody knows how to maintain a good business etiquette, how to talk with other people, how to laugh, how to drink, so everything. Okay, and then talking about the self-driven and 0 to 1 and 1 to 1.1, these are all mandatory expectations that people will definitely test you during your technical rounds or during your coding round, where no one tells you this is the solution, but you thought when I just said you some problem, I just want to add up two numbers, a very simple example. So no one tell you how to do that, but instead you only started doing how to add two numbers. Of course, this is a very vague example, but this could be very easy for you to understand. And then 0 to 1 and 1 to 1.1 is something that will be definitely know with your words or with your actions that you do during the interview. Collaboration, decision making, and negotiation. These 3 points will be definitely covered during your HR interviews. So all these 8 points, either directly or indirectly, will be covered at any one of the round. So as a candidate, so you should be aware of all these 8. So what company expects. So when you look at job description, you have to divide into these fragments, 8 fragments, like the skills that I need. So ability to communicate, self-driven. So everyone used to do, almost all 80 to 90% of the people have that. But basically, we morely focus about the skill and the ability to communication today. And later we will see when to cover the other one. So let's talk about the skills, what we need to have. Okay. So these skills are basically your domain and role specific. So you are applying for a tech role. So you need to have a good knowledge on a few of the libraries or frameworks. And for any job opportunity, commonly we ask is to solve a problem. Okay, so someone brings you some problem and you want to make or formulate a solution out of it. Either it could be a solution that you will provide by writing some lines of program in the existing code base, or else you will try to show a way so that his problem can be solved with the existing flow that your company is already providing. And whenever you start learning or acquiring a skill, don't rush. So even though you start practicing data structures and algorithm at your 4th year, where your placements are going to happen in the next coming 2 months or 3 months, so you don't want to rush. See, of course, delay was happened, so you don't even know what is an array. Still, you start from basics and move exponentially. Okay, so start from basic. What does this mean? Start try practicing problems and then move to next concept. So if you feel stuck somewhere, so try to understand, but don't waste time. So these are all few common principles that we essentially do, or we essentially have whenever we are trying to solve problem. And then commonly for any skill you must know one programming language. Okay, whatever the programming language you choose, I don't have any problem at all. So you are good in JavaScript, fine. You are good in Java, I am fine. If you are good in Python, I am fine. So company never bothers any person to have to good in their programming language, because Today, majority of the organization works in multiple languages. Okay, there won't be one language at all. We have JavaScript code bases, and we also have Python. There are few old code bases that are written in Java as well. So nothing has been deprecated. Everything is there. It's just that it depends on how good opportunities you grab after you join in the company, depending on which domain you will be allocated. That will be purely decided based upon the latest skills you have, is what very important. And let's talk about the tech skills. Okay, every company looks for when you say I am hiring a full stack developer. So what I expect from full stack developer is he should be knowledgeable in front end. So front end, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and libraries like React and Vue.js. So these or you should be aware of frameworks such as Angular and Vue. So these anyone, okay, I'm not just saying you should know everything, but you should know something. Okay, so when I ask you some question, say you want to build a login form for me using front end, so you should take the and you should bring me some cool code. Okay, I don't care if you used HTML, or I don't care you used React, you used cool libraries like Andy and material UI. I don't care about it. I just want a simple two options. Okay, one to enter my username and one to enter my password. It completely depends on how you are going to solve the problem. Okay, so if you take example, 5 people. So the first person is very knowledgeable in front end. So he will start implementing the component. He will build a login component. He will give the models and all. He will do very good design. And if you take the other candidate might not be aware about this cool framework. So he will start with the HTML and CSS. He take those input tags, he put the required arguments, he will pass the data to that is ready to take by backend. So everyone has their own perception in terms how to solve the problem. The only thing that matters here is you want to solve the problem. Okay, later we will see how that is going. Is your solution right, or is your solution having some minor cases that it may go wrong? So these things come later, but ultimately you have to bring me a solution. Okay, you directly hard coded the tag, I don't care. You just write a good components, I don't care. That is all secondary for me. First thing, something should go for me live, or something should work for me live. Later we will do enhancement. Okay, later we will give a good framework, we will give a good user interface. That and all comes to secondary. First you have to bring me a well formulated solution, is what I expect. Same applies for backend roles, where I expect someone, a good backend engineer must be aware of the HTTP protocols, like and HTTP error status codes, protocols, get, post, put, and then you say status code from 200 to 500, whatever can happen. So you should be ready to handle them. And then a bit about system design, where you want to design how the flow moves from front end to back end. So how many different systems you will get in touch, and then what are all different activities you perform at each level, each minor and granular level. So to do the processing, and then to do all these steps, you need to know some framework. And definitely to store data, you should be aware of any database. It could be MongoDB, or it could be Postgres. In sense, it could be a relational and non-relational databases, RDBMS and normal DBMS. And the integrations. So if you want some other person to use the services, so you want to send data to someone, or someone will send you data, how well you can integrate so that the system won't break in between. As I said in the Zomato use case, where Zomato, there are few customers, they ask you from futures. So how well you can receive their orders into your platform, and how well you can serve the orders using your platform, and how well you can charge per order basis. So these things all matter here. And then talk about the microservices, how well you can split up your architecture, like how many different individual and non-breaking components you can make out of it. So these are all, I don't say these are all mandatory, because I whatever I had covered, so it depends from company to company, role to role, on their expectations. Even experience also matters here. So when I say you are aware all of these things, but the only thing is, in general, this is what I expect, or this is what a company expect from you. And then let's talk about AI. So here I mentioned all variants. The variants in sense like all the sub groups under AI, like AI, data science, or whatever I say. Okay, so every domain. Okay, so when I say AI engineer, or when I say a data scientist, or when I say a data analyst, so their daily day-to-day work will be different, but the way how they work will be pretty much the same. So some may build the model, some may utilize the model, and some may start researching about the models. Is what their individual role meant for. But ultimately, they are going to use any one programming language, Python or C++, and they should be aware of your data visualization, either self or through some libraries. Or they may expect a good, strong fundamentals in your artificial neural networks, where you could able to build a good set of neural networks. So this whole AI will be covered later in the curriculum, but this is what the company expects. So when I say when I am talking to an AI engineer, or when I am talking to a data scientist, so I think that he is knowledgeable in these things. And model training, where you try an AI model, train an AI model, test it, reinforce means you built a good version V1, and you how well you can bring a V2 by let V1 itself aware that you are bad and you want to improve, is what all reinforcement talk about. And one of the recent boomed say what we said recently booming roles are DevOps and MLOps. So basically MLOps is more boomed than DevOps. DevOps was already there. So there we expect so for DevOps or MLOps, okay, few things are common, where you should be knowledgeable on using cloud providers, a third party cloud like AWS, Google Cloud Computing, and then Azure, Microsoft. So you should be aware how to manage the servers, how to manage the load, how to make systems scalable, what are all services, how interaction happens, security, protocols, these things. And then system design here also matters a lot. How well you design servers, how well they can take your application load, how well they can handle request response properly. And then the continuous integration, continuous development, where you push everything whatever you developed in a efficient way. So you don't want to you don't want to do it manual. Instead you just automate using some tools. And monitoring how services are being performed after they went live, and maintaining them. So how well the requests are coming, how well they are going, how many servers anticipate, how many servers I want, and then efficiently decide what should I do, decide and do what should I take for, is what all DevOps do. And MLOps is just they just change the code. The only code changes. You just need to run a good machine learning model, or I can say an AI model, that will take continuous inputs from the end user, and it starts building things out of them. So everyone by this time have used Chat GPT. So in Chat GPT, for many of the free subscribers, they may used to see systems are under high capacity right now. Please try later. So so for the engineers that are behind the scenes to maintain the systems are these DevOps and MLOps, if you are not aware. And and then we will move forward to the next roles, where we have the QA and the software engineer in test. So these people are more into testing your software. So you wrote the code, it's fine, but how well it is performing is what is required. And then this MJ roles, right? What I say is some kind of mixer juicer roles, where you just mix up two things. So I say AI full stack developer, which means he should be knowledgeable in both AI and full stack. Or if I say a full stack DevOps, he should be able to build applications, and also he should be able to maintain those applications in the live production. So these are all roles that company expect. So I just talked a lot, right? Recording each and every role I gave. I just very briefly explained what are all each organization cover under each role. But so when we talk about what is common in all these things, one thing is your preparation should be common. Okay. So it is like saying I am realizing that common sense is not as common as I realize. So you should prepare for any opportunity if you are interested. And you should show to a company that you have a good experience in handling that thing. So if I say I'm a full stack developer, so I should describe about myself that I have built something, so I can proudly say I have good experience on this, is what that company expects, especially from a software engineer. And then the common thing that every programmer everyone has to have is the googling, or these just chat gpt. So you need to efficiently use the available internet services to do your daily job. This is also a good skill. Okay, it is not bad these days. it is also required. So like I can ask if do you have any doubts. So maybe I could expect few people in who will relate to this poster also, or me myself, where you barely paid any attention and now you just ask me as to respond first. Are there anyone in this category, so I can help them out? Or if you have any doubts till this point, I could able to take. So where in the next coming we will purely talk about how to prepare for them, or how to prepare this meeting, how to prepare those roles. Do you have any? So I can take up or I will continue. It looks like everyone muted themselves and leave the meeting. Anyway. Okay, so let's talk about how to achieve those common goals. So when we talk about them as a common goal, so one thing you need to know is you want to prepare. So preparation in sense, you should be knowledgeable or you should be skillful on the role you are applying. So either that preparation you will acquire through your classroom, or it could be from YouTube, or it could be from third party online, or you can say the educators like Coursera, Udemy, companies like Coursera, Udemy. So wherever you gain the knowledge, okay. So I don't mind. Okay, I don't care about. The only thing you have to show me your knowledge through your work is what I expect. So I don't know whether you learn HTML through your classroom or your faculty has provided in-depth knowledge, so you don't want to cover. So this is not important for me. Okay, wherever you learn, it's my second priority. But my first priority now is, now you want to show me your knowledge, whatever you have acquired by doing the task I had given is what I expect. And then when you talk about that, so this you can show to any company that I prepared is through internships or projects. Okay, so by doing internships or by building projects, it could be a mini project, or it could be a big project, or it could be even a next unicorn idea. It doesn't matter, but ultimately you have to show your experience through this. Okay, and then the third one, okay, what I said, third one, just a second. So that chat GPT or Googling, so everyone are masters in that. So everyone did a good postdoctorates and even more than that in this field. So we don't need to discuss, okay. So everyone knows what to do. And I will take a small break here on tech, but let's talk about non-tech. So as of now you only covered about DSA, or you only covered what this tech what I say key this tech people got. So what about the non-tech people? Does anyone have any doubt? Hello? Anyway, what about the non-technical people? So I don't know coding. Okay, so I'm not interested at all. Can I still survive? Can I still get a good job? Yes, we have in industry, right? In industry 4.0, especially more. Okay, so we usually have a few roles such as product manager and all. These are all non-technical roles where you don't need to write anything. Okay, but you can decide the person who is going to write. Okay, your decision stands final. So today I will go and start implementing a few things, and ultimately it means a better visibility to the whole product. So his decision stands out, or his decision makes it final. So what he does in a very broad sense, he decides the product, what it can do and what it can improve. He can brainstorm for solutioning. He can go to approach clients, get a good approval for it, so to go for it, and then he can do testing also at sometimes, and then he will support them post release. Can anyone mute someone who is unmuted? I'm getting a lot of noise. Darcy, Preetham, are you there? Can you mute them? Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, done.
So now if you see in a very broad sense, okay. So what a simple mathematical equation just say, so you in a company there are all tasks, okay. So out of all tasks, you just remove the development from it. So in simple words, these days in industry 4.0 and above, product manager is doing all of them, okay, at majority of the cases. And then continuing with the sub roles, okay. So you talked about product manager, but not just product manager. There are a few roles like business analyst where they work with close with clients compute few metrics for their clients and provide insights with the data they provided to this company, and try to analyze positive, negative, how it is going. Product analyst, so they work closely with product managers to understand how your product is actually performing in the live production, or I can say into your customers. So this business analyst will stick to one or two clients, but this product analyst will look it as a whole, okay, in broad sense. And then we have some customer support engineers, where I talked in service based roles. Even in product based companies, we have few customer support engineers where they will support with the technical doubts whatever client raises. If he is not aware of the platform, or if something is going on, so he will address, and he will debug also, where he will try to explain, this is not the way you need to use our platform, this is the right way. No code based solutions majorly. And then there will be a success engineer for a customer, where he always try to make customer success. So every time customer brings out few idea, he will try to get it done in a very nice way, through the product manager, through the product analyst, to the business analyst. So he's simply saying he's the client spot, okay. So he is a single point of contact to your client. So whatever comes, you just start describing that your customer success engineer. So he will take care what to do, the next steps and all. He has access to everything. Like, he can go to a developer and talk, he can go to a product manager and talk, he can ask a business analyst to do a job, he can ask a product analyst to perform to some job on the whole product. So whatever it be, he can do, okay. And then we talk about something like, this is very interesting part for everyone. Like, I want to show my talent to the company. So one thing, just to convey, like, I have a lot of hidden talents, but just that they are hidden, so I can't find them. So we should not be like that. You should know your hidden talents. So when talk about talent showcasing, so this could happen via two things. Either it could be via your projects, where you have a good idea, okay, get in touch with any spot, especially for undergraduates. You can get in touch with your friends or faculty members to assist you to shape your idea into a good solution. So you should be something like, let's build and learn, or let's learn and build kind of attitude. So when you have this attitude, right, so what essentially happens is, you will know what to learn, okay. So if you don't know, you will learn it, and then you build it up with yourself. And these ideas, right, so no idea became unicorn by no idea didn't become a unicorn by itself. There are few engineers who actually supported in the background, every person in the organization who supported in background, where they bring a collective set of ideas, and they make a good product, and now that product is performing in a unicorn way. So if anyone know what does a unicorn mean here? Any idea about what is this unicorn, or what does this do, or what when you say a company is a unicorn? So I will say
Any startup which is raising more than 8,000 crores.
yeah, $1 billion in sense. Yeah, it could be, yeah, somewhere around that. Yes. Yeah, thanks for the answer. By the way, may I know your name?
Yeah, boy, I'm Mahidar.
Yeah, fine. Thanks. So now let's talk about internship. So first do point one, okay. So to get an internship, you should have a project. So why you are saying like this? Nowhere it's mentioned you should have a project. But why I'm mentioning you this is because at least through project you will gain a practical exposure. Okay. Now you go to a company, tell that company person, I did this. Okay. So I implemented this idea. I just did a good thing, and so I know I believe the company will believe me that I know something. Then they will provide me an opportunity. Okay, so now you are the right person who am I waiting for. Now come join us, let's build. So this is what we do. Okay, so grabbing an internship, a good internship or bad internship, in terms of majorly decided through stipend, it is on individual mindset. Okay, I don't comment it out. There are a lot of factors. We don't cover it individually, but it completely depends on what you think. Okay, no one is going to question you at any point of time. And then for the preparation for this internship, it will be a normal job preparation. So these days internship is not having a separate preparation. Rather, whatever you are preparing for your job interview, you just treat your internship interview as your job interview only. Just that you have a contract for an intern, but for an employee, your contract might be a permanent one for few years at least, we can say, until unless you don't do any misuse thing and get laid off. Yeah, then talk about research. So research, I just put it in a separate fragment because that deserves it. Because every company these days want people to bring some out of box ideas or to do something that is not there. Like in this right top corner, you can see the proposed work versus existing work. So there is an existing work. Okay, now you want to propose something out of it. Okay, so for that research, no. So how to do a good research or how to contribute a good idea which is not already there. These are like five things. Okay, so these five things just summarizes what are the whole person who is doing a research will do. So you should be very mindful. Mindful in sense you should be aware on what topic you are researching or you are searching for a solution, and then do a thorough check. So what are all latest use cases it has, what it can do, what it can't do. So what are all limitations, and then select one out of it and work. Just publish a paper if the work is good. You can publish a paper or a research article or a review summary regarding what you have learned after seeing in many articles. Like I had published a review article, I have published a paper also, and you can get a copyright and you can also make it a patent where no one can copy your solution. And then a few motivational speakers say, right? So failure is the first step to success, and someone is in the 2000 steps. Still, 2001 step could be your success step. So don't hesitate when you didn't get the success, but at the same time, don't over smart or over enjoy when you get the success, because any day situations may turn down. Okay. And then regarding internships, okay, so what are all benefits? I say in a very broad way, I just cover in a one simple diagram. Okay, so hands-on experience, relevant job experiences, soft skills, insights into future career paths, networking, mentorship, hard skills, formal training. So all these 6 to 8 attributes, okay, whatever I just mentioned, everything you will get. Okay, so the percentages, it is completely depend on the survey, but all these attributes, if you just compare with any person who did an internship versus person who didn't do an internship, you will definitely feel this out. I will 100% guarantee you on this. Okay, so whether your internship is a good one or a bad one, I don't care about, but this happens. And then when you receive a formal review, right? So when they just saw how often or they just say how actually benefited after doing, how many people actually benefited after in their career after doing an internship is what that second field talk. So for us, like we fall under the science, math, and technology. Almost all 60%. Like you can say 2/3, 64.4. 2/3 people out of three to say internship actually helped me to gain a good career is what we received these days. And few insights I can give after seeing in the placement cell. Okay, so first thing, if you are not interested, okay, don't apply. Unnecessary time waste. Okay, you just put your precious time in somewhere else. Okay, if you are interested in projects, do projects. If you are interested in do research. But if you are not interested, don't apply. Okay, I strictly recommend no to that. Only interested candidates can come. Okay, unnecessary time waste to the company at the candidate because he is already not interested. This is not a hit and run game, okay, where you just apply and I will say at the end that I am not interested is not what we expect, especially from a graduate or a student who is going to graduate with a bachelor's degree. This is not a something. This is not a game. First thing, okay. And whenever you start applying to the internship, know the role, company stipend, working hour availability, college hours, exposure you will get when you do an internship in the field. All the attributes, okay, that I covered, okay, that are all that 6 to 8 attributes. Try to understand before you apply the internship. I mean, first one to internship, it takes time. But once you have a good experience, right, your old internships will help you to fetch new internships. That's what happened in my case. Like I started my internship as a content writer, and I also started as a for non-tech. I started as a marketing intern, so I just promoted their product. So later on, it became very hard for me also to come into tech role and say that I know. But this project-based learning methodology, whatever I said, right? So this actually helped me to grab on-campus internship with UST Global. And then from UST Global, I moved to TechVolt, and from TechVolt, I moved to SurveySparrow, and from SurveySparrow, I moved to Techolution, and from Techolution, I moved to IBM, and from IBM and Media.net, both collectively at once. So don't just say ki, I don't just say, but just saying, don't just say I don't have time. Everyone has time. Like I don't compare, I don't boast myself, but I can say that I did Media.net IBM internship from January to June at same time. Okay, two different laptops each company provides, so I worked both on them. Along with that, I maintained my CGPA and my honors degree, honors research and BTech project. So almost all 5 tasks. Along with that, my sister match is an additional bonus for me task to do. Okay, so almost 7 to 8 tasks I had covered in home, Matthew sir also knows how I well achieved that without getting a bad complaint from any things. Along with that, I was a placement coordinator. Okay, so those 100 companies, out of those 100 companies, almost 60 sorry, almost 60 companies came during June to January to June. Okay, the last peak season during the batch placements. Okay, so everyone has time. Okay, so when you say I don't have time, I don't believe. I just simply give this example. So maybe they might have some personal reasons at all, but I don't judge them. But everyone have a good time. So be ready with some proof of job, proof of work. Okay, so then I can say that you are capable to do this same job, or whatever I expect you to do this. So let's talk about how you prepare. So this is what everyone is waiting for, like so from last say 50 minutes I told today we are going to talk about the placement preparation strategies. So I just gave a glimpse of what happens in the behind the scenes. Okay, behind your scene, what you have to be do, what you have to do, what company expects from you, and what are all current industry trends going. What as a industry resource person I see when I interview a candidate is what I just said. And now it here comes, so now you are a candidate. Now here comes how you should able to crack the questions I asked you during the interview. So before you go for that, first thing you have to be very strong in your fundamentals. Okay, fundamentals I will cover later what are all fundamentals you want to know, but you should be strong on them, and you need to maintain a good profile. Either the profile you maintain, it could be your resume single page, or it could be a LinkedIn profile, or it could be your GitHub profile also, the coding profile where you just showcase your talent basically. And then research that company's past interview experiences. There could not, you are not the first person to go for the interview. There will be several persons who already attended. What do they say? What do they cost? What do they ask in the uh, what do they ask in the interview? And then past interview experiences in Geeks for Geeks, like what are all domains they have covered, what are all questions they have asked. Check the salary, how much they are offering. Salary in sense the stipend, okay, for interns and for the job, the salary they are offering, and is it competitive enough so that you can consider them? Because everyone wants a good hike, right? So everyone works for that. Everyone wants a good paycheck towards the end of the day. So when it comes December, when it comes May 30 or 31st, I expect my salary to receive in my bank account. So I have a lot of things to do. So so as a as a person, I can say like I need to run a family, or I say, I mean, for experience I say, but people who are into their 30s and 40s will definitely have this. This amount is essential to move my family, right? So everyone expects a good formal pay. So just imagine, like, we are all came from a middle class background. Okay, no, I mean there may be some exceptions, but majority of us from a middle class background. So whenever our father receives some money, then only he could able to pay our he would able to pay our fees, college fees, or our required whatever our monthly pocket fund you say. So whatever your essential need or requirement, so everything comes from the same amount. Okay, so if he just stuck one position saying that okay, the salary I'm receiving is good enough, this won't work these days. So try to get more competitive, try to see their offering, try to grab a good opportunity when you have the right time. Just look for the time, and just when you get the time, just jump, is what I say. Okay, honestly. And then the fundamentals, right? I said, so for the fundamental software industry, okay, so whenever I get only 45 to 50 minutes of time to talk to any candidate. Okay, so in that, out of the 45 to 50 minutes, the majority of the my time kills in when I ask you some DSA question and you start solving the problem. So I can say, some person asked me, right, so what is the percentage of DSA, bro, you said that is required so I can crack a software interview, or is DSA strong enough for me to crack the software interview? Yes, I say. So it is almost a 80 percentage mandate. Okay, so you should able to code the solution also. It's not just that you are providing solutions better, but you should show that in your proof of work. And then the operating system, computer networks, and system design, these are all basic things, or I can say these are all some mandatory things we expect that candidate might be aware. Okay, but it's not bad thing you are not aware, but of course it is a required thing. Okay, so ultimately the judgment will be given based upon how on an overall rating out of 5, how much I can rate you with the conversation I just maintained with you in those 30 40 minutes or 45 50 minutes. in that interview. Because I just said 1 hour interview, first 10 minutes will go in your introduction only, or interviewer will join late because of some other meeting, so 10 minutes gone, so he will have only 50 minutes to convey, because next 50 minutes he is going for an interview with other candidate, so other candidate will be waiting for this person to come and do the interview. So when it comes to hardware, so I'm not a hardware guy, but from my research what I came to know is that you should be know well about the circuit designing. Okay, when we talk about the hardware geeks who are attending today, so circuit designing in sense, so you should, I just said, okay, so you need one component for now to detect a motion getting happened in front of your camera. So for this you need to design a good board or a good motherboard, I say, which could able to sense that there is a motion. You should use the sensors, you should use those wires, connect them, get a good circuit out of it, and just build a proper solution so you could able to sell them. So nowadays, how CC camera works? So just take example CC camera. So it just starts. So how many of you believe that CC camera will record all the time? Just say me, how many of you believe that? That is not the myth. Okay, so that is not the myth. Why? Because nowadays the technology is so advanced that even those CC cameras are also detecting motion around it, and then only it will record if there is some action happened. Whenever it is installed, it clicks a reference image and it will always compare with each frame it received through that camera. And whenever it starts seeing after some threshold, say there is a difference between these two images, which is essentially says there is something happened, then only it starts recording, and it's just save that for some extent. Okay, so that is what it happens. And then when we talk about AML, this already I had covered. You should know about data visualization, model training, validations. So whenever you are working on some AML project, right? So don't just say I worked on it. Okay, so especially in interview time, right? We expect you to make some solution out of it. So you just say I just build a text classifier, or I can say I can detect which text is a positive text or which text is in a negative sense, or this tweet classification algorithm. One of the basic project everyone picks out whenever they work on AML. So they just take a tweet and they just do a sentiment analysis. Okay, they just say which is a positive tweet or a negative tweet. So you just commented about Donald Trump on returning of Twitter, and you just praised Elon Musk for giving that good decision, so that Donald Trump opinions are now judged in Twitter. So now as a person I just tweeted it, so from Twitter I just need to know how well I tweeted, or in what sense I tweeted. Do I making some joke around it, or do I making am I really praising it, or I am really or I can say I'm demotivating it. So you have a good model. Okay, so now I want to use it live. You have to show me some demonstration. Okay, I will give you text, now you run and tell. You don't go there and start running Python 3 run my code.py and then you just give the input and show it. So good graphical interface, not cool graphical interface, but at least a minimalistic interface where you can take a text and you can say an answer is also enough. So that is one suggestion I can give for people who are working in who are aspire to work in AML field. And then let's talk about resume making. Okay, so one of the interesting memes that caught around this one today while I was making presentation. So I can simply say one thing. Okay, so I sat around and made some 11 memes, and I made posted 11 months memes in one Instagram. So how can I highlight it? So I gained consensus on numerous controversial topics that are happening around the world, and I just created a meaningful information so others can also understand. Others can also understand and get a good knowledge on it. So how good is that when an interviewer listens, but how bad is that when I say I just posted memes in an Instagram page for 11 months, is what all talks about here in resume making. So you should able to convey things better by highlighting yourself, your objective, your education, your achievements, and your cover your projects, 2 or 3 projects you worked and 2 or 3 internships you have done. And for you, like I just have a one simple example. Okay, so this is my old resume. Okay, it's almost all having 4 pages. I just read all the things I had done in the undergraduate program. So no interviewer have that enough amount of time to go through a resume and see what this person did. Okay, but so what I did, I just made it into a single resume, single 1 page short. So I studied here. These are my skills. These are the places where I worked, and these are the projects I had handled, and these are the publications I have made, and these are the honors I received. So simple. In 6 steps, I just conveyed who is Aditya Vardhan. Is what every company desires these days. Okay, and then profile building. So now you are in a tech, we are, I mean, now just not you, even I am also there. So we are in a technological advancement day. So every day new technologies are coming up and old technologies are getting down. So you want to like some kind of boast yourself, like in especially in these platforms where you should stand and you should show I am different than others who are already doing BTech with me. So one of the best thing is that if you maintain a good profile in LinkedIn, right, that is more than enough to people understand. So when I say like when I ask few questions like how many of you are aware about Arsh Goyal and how many of you are aware about Pushkar Kumar, or how, I mean these are few people I just follow, or how many of you are aware about Arvind Warrior. So people who I follow, right, so these people are, I can say they are like influencers because they are trying to build content so that others can get benefit out of it. Not, of course there are few in them who are trying for their self thing, but still there are few genuine people who want to help someone out of that. So at least if one person get a good thing, then they are satisfied is what they are moving on. So then so how can you build your LinkedIn profile? So you connect with those influencers. It's okay if they boast, promote courses, whatever, blah blah blah, they do shit. No, you don't need to take care, but you just find sometimes very useful information, and that too for free of cost is something we want. And then follow the industry pages to know how industry advancements are happening. Just highlight few recommendations, like you just work with me, so I can recommend you for some other work. So I can say this person ABC, or is this person is very good in this profile field. He is diligent, smart, outstanding, whatever the say adjectives I it got to me in my mind, I can just put up there and it will help. And then I can share my achievements. So, like I shared my achievement, like I got a award in my company for the last quarter. So I can share such achievements and I can put my educational and bio details. And every time when you deal with these platforms, right, be respectful, cautious, no hate and spam, never indulge in an argument, because these are also carried out. Okay, so whenever a recruiter sees your profile, right, when some what happens, in industry there are two things. One, you apply for a job. Second, job will come for you. Okay, so when job is coming for so these people only see these profiles, how well this person is indulged in the conversation, how well he can, how can he maintain some secrecy. Like if your company is launching a new product, okay, you can't just go to LinkedIn and say that the Shipsy is sorry, you can't just say that my company is launching blah blah blah. So I can't reveal some internal secrets. Okay, these are all internal. So I have to maintain some data secrecy, right? So these and all matter there. Okay, and then let's talk about researching about the company. So this is the best place you want to understand what this company does, what solutions they offer. So just see G2 reviews or product hunt, how well their product is currently doing in the market. And then check the salary, role offered, check the past interview experiences, connect with the employees. You can ask them directly, like how you should, what topics you need to prepare. So they can guide you and they can help you in so they can help you at least few portions, so it could be easy for you to tackle. So zero knowledge, I mean at least half knowledge is better in this case, I can say, rather than having zero knowledge about the company. Okay, and regarding the job search, okay, so two things. So you can directly apply for jobs. Okay, in LinkedIn you can start messaging, what we say these days, cold emailing or hot emailing, whatever you mention it, but you start messaging the recruiters, use the phone contacts, so whatever you have, so you can just approach them one to one, describe about yourself, start showcasing your projects, ask them for an opportunity. If they could provide, try to grab it, or if you can't able to grab it, learn from your mistakes and then use the same learnings in your next interview, is what how we need to proceed forward. Okay, and then this Telegram, WhatsApp groups these days, right, not just from these days, when I'm also looking out for a good job opportunities, like I used to get a lot of opportunities getting posted here. Okay, so these links I will share you through placements later on. But one thing I see commonly here is that people used to post them for free. Okay, no one expects you want to give some money for them to post. Okay, but they do just a free of cost. So they just help you that this company, say Apple, is going to hire for software engineers. So interested people can apply it here. So if they just share you some messages, so at least people who are interested, really interested to work for them, can actually go and do. And then when you say apply for a job, I don't mean to I will simply say two things. Okay, so when you are applying for a job, you should feel that your resume is relevant to the job description that is being given. And I will strictly recommend don't apply to any job if your gut says I might not be selected, because first you need to have confidence. First you need to believe yourself. Then only someone believe you. If you don't have belief in yourself also, who will believe you and give you a job these days, right? So that is what my main intention was here. So till now I covered, right? So these are all the aspects that you want to know before you get a job. So when you get a job, okay, when you are get a call, say now you candidate some person, now you come to this interview, so let's discuss. So the very common question, okay, I ask you, tell me about yourself. So you should not say something like I was born at a very young age, because everyone will be born at a very young age, right? So you should prepare for some just basic questions, and also you have to be skills. You should have relevant skills, whatever posted in the job description. Okay, and then don't overcome it. If you don't know, just say honestly, say don't know. Okay, so you don't waste the interviewer time. Also, you don't kill your own time. At least you can concentrate on what other things he can ask. So, say for example, if you don't know anything about operating system, be open. Sir, I haven't covered operating systems much in my current curriculum. So I'm not confident on the topic. So definitely he won't try to sue you on that. Okay, so he will try asking you other questions in other topics, whatever you feel comfortable, because ultimately his main aim is to check whether your skills are actually valued, or whether your skills are enough to solve my client's problem, is what every technical recruiter sees. Okay, so even if your interviewer is rude to you, okay, so be calm and chill, nothing will happen. Okay, he is not your ultimate boss. Okay, you don't even know who will that no, you won't know if the same interior person is the one you are going to report on a daily basis after you join them. Okay, and this is the last not last, it is like a super penultimate, I can say. So this myths and facts, where you say like DSA is important for Mang or Fang, whatever we have. So it's not 100%. Okay, so 70% I can say yes. They don't just see DSA, they try to see how you solve the problem. Okay, don't step into writing this hash include, or don't just start declaring variables and build. First explain him what you are trying to do. Okay, and then just do it. Okay, so if your approach is wrong, okay, so if I reject it, so you should be able to change your approach. Okay, I don't like the solution, try for another one, or try optimizing it. You have to happily accept and do, because ultimately in the current industry, right, so I build something, so it goes to the code review. So people, or any one of my seniors will say this is not the right way, you have to change it. So ultimately I should be change it, or at least I have to ask why I should change it. So what is the drawback with this approach? So you have to have a positive negotiation rather than going into an argument and just getting your job screwed up at the end of the day. Okay, and then a few people might only say no, only Fang, nothing else. This is completely wrong. There are good high paying startups outside. People just skip. I even saw cases where people joined startup by rejecting Microsoft also. Okay, Microsoft is just an example. Okay, so not just Fang, the industry runs. Okay, there are other industry leaders, they are also running the industry. It's just that these people are utilizing the services. Okay, they are not the ultimate provider ones. Maybe tomorrow I might implement a good cloud based solution, and all providers might turn, or I can get good clients from AWS and Microsoft, or Microsoft itself can merge into me, and we both run the business. Who knows, right? So getting talking about this rejected in coding round, I'm not suitable for this industry. This is completely wrong. Okay, every company won't ask in the same level questions, or every company won't ask the tough questions. Every company has their own limitations of testing the candidate. Maybe this might not be the suitable company with the knowledge you have. You can try for other ones. So I can simply disclose this example by saying in your city, I am new to your city, okay, and so the distance from railway station to your home is just a half kilometer, and auto can actually charge you 30-40 rupees maximum, that too at a peak season or night time. But this auto wala just asked me 100 rupees, so I can't just say that all auto walas are bad in this city, right? It's the same. So I can't just say every industry is bad. Okay, and then internships are mandatory? No, never. Okay, so some people build a good projects and get into, some people build a good research and get into good research based roles. So it's both. It's just that in you do internship, it helps you to be competitive. Like if I see two resumes, okay, one person did some good internships and has a good experience, one person is just nothing else. So I will give priority to this person who did internship. If that's the only case, it will help. And also that 6 to 8 factors I mentioned, it helps. So the last part of the today's topic was the resources. Okay, so you are preparing, right? So not just you, anyone who is preparing. So Ebin sir actually might have this CS fundamentals handbooks. Okay, you can approach sir. He will share that handbook. So it contains all the operating system, your consignment, sorry, computer networks, or I can say compiler design. So all these topics, and basic to advanced level questions, we have already covered almost all 3 4 years back, and still that runs the whole placement cell. We never updated it because the fundamentals provided in that book are more than enough to answer the questions that are actually asked in the interview, is what I felt. And maintain good profile, okay, in Geeks for Geeks, HackerRank, HackerRank for at least first 2 years, first year and second year. And from third year, once you have a good proficiency in DSA, start using Code Forces or Lead Code. Okay, Code Chef. Okay, I forgot to mention the Code Chef. Okay, continuously practice it. Try to build a good profile, but don't just stick on to one. I can help. I can say this is the time for you to experiment. First 2 years are a very good time for you to experiment. Try experimenting, try learning, see how it makes an impact. If it is not making an impact, just skip it. Or if it is making an impact at some other point of time, then we can move it on. Okay, it's up to your decision. No one challenges you anywhere. And then whenever you this is one personal point I felt whenever I prepare something. Okay, I felt that this I should revise at the before I go for interview. So make a handful note, just revise them whenever time comes. So we reached the end. So where many guys are waiting since 7:50 happened. So this person who came to this webinar was actually killed almost 1.5 hours. So many people have many opinions. So do you have any questions? I could take it up, and I can say thank you very much for your time. So, though 50 people, so I asked. I remember I started at 90. 90 people were actually there when I started the session, and there were like 50 people now. And yeah, so what I can say is that so this 1.5 hour. Okay, so I can honestly say now. So for my company, I just said I will be back in 1 hour. So it's already for 20 minutes late. Of course, I almost logged out. So so the only thing why I dedicated like some 1.5 hour is just because now you have 2 months of good time, especially who are in their first, second, or third years to do something. And the who are already graduated, so you can also try if you haven't tried. I don't know the targeted audience for this meeting, but as per my records, it was only second years and first years. So yeah, so I am happy to take some questions. If not, I we can just wind up the call. And yeah, so I can just answer like what are all I haven't covered, but I have received in the meeting chat before that. So applying for internship, I have already mentioned how to do, what not to do. And then DSANF, this is already have. And good portfolio I have covered. One programming language is, there is no such programming language. Every programming language is being used. It's just that the department or the one you are aligned on a later stage will decide it. And correct roadmap to get a full stack developer SDE. I hope you might have received by this time. If not, connect with me. And then can I quit my job for my passion in just 5 years, or I should wait for 5 more years? So it depends on your passion. Okay, so there are few software engineers who just left their job and started business just because they are earning good profits. Okay, and there are few business people who entered into software industry and doing good miracles with them. And then so when you manage classes with the coding lessons online, see. The way how I managed in that example is not tough. Rather, you are managing just classes with coding lessons. Okay, so it's up to you how you are going to manage. I can just say give a specified time. Okay, just check your schedule every day. So from morning to evening, I have classes. So at least try to sit at night or try to sit at early morning. It's up to you. And then you have cyber security, participated in capture the flags, preparing for EJPT certifications. So if you are lost in any path, okay, so what I can say, there is one website called roadmaps.xyz. I don't remember, but there you find the good path, like what should I do, what should I be aware if I say I'm a proficient in this domain. Okay, try searching for it. You will definitely have ace your career in cyber security. And then coding, see, it's just that if you try for 1 2 events and just decide that coding is not for me, it will be very vague. Okay. Just try and then decide. Okay, so now you are in first year or second year. Okay, but now you can just say that coding is not for me. I am not doing coding and all, or I felt like I couldn't able to solve the problem. Okay, everyone takes time. It's just that for me, if the idea strikes or if the solution strike in 1 minute, it takes 2 minutes for you. But you need to start moving the 2 minute to 1 minute is what the preparation matters. Okay, how well you prepare will actually reduce as the time is what I said. If you are completely not interested in that case, you can follow that non-technical roles that I had mentioned. And then placement process at AAA good time. Your placement coordinators are already doing well job in that, so people they can explain. And then so what's niche, which is niche for us? It's up to you. So I see that is like asking me to decide your career. So I'm not here to decide what you want to do in your life. It's up to you to decide. So no one decided without wasting their time. Okay, so everyone started exploring. They felt that at some point of time this is not my piece of cake, so they just skipped. That's it. And then who is this dude? He's asking me to explain the process of placement at a lot of times. Just connect with your placement coordinators after this session. Okay, so I'm not going to touch this aspect now because this is the out of context I say for this webinar intention. And yeah, if you have any doubts, we can discuss, or else we can just wind up this call. You have done 2 3 internships. See, you can't just apply for job, okay, without completing your undergraduate. No company will accept it. There are few companies, but still, it's you will be considered as an internship only. Okay, they won't consider you that you are a full-time employee. Okay, even though people who have good experience, like say 3 4 years, and they just did MTech, and they still join as an intern and convert into a full-time. It's not just that you have 3 4 years experience and you will be directly promoted to senior software engineer. It's not like that. Okay, so you have to follow the process. You have to abide the thing. So you can contact me anytime. I'm already available in all your batch WhatsApp groups. So you might be knowing through my name itself, with some moon emoji to the right of it. So okay, I will stop the live streaming as well.
Thank you, Aditya, for the excellent presentation. You found out some time after your work.
Yeah, thank you.
I think work from home is still hectic.
Yeah, sir, work from home always I say. Uh, Fine, we have to adapt to the same thing. Darcy, can you give me host access once? So you should be looking internship opportunities. Yes, if you are if you say want to apply as an intern, and you can still what I say, you can still look out some research